Fala aí pessoal, beleza? Guilherme Gamer na área com mais um vídeo. E muita gente fica curiosa ainda para saber as principais diferenças entre o Watch Dogs 2 e o game anterior. Pensando nisso, eu trago agora um vídeo disponibilizado pela Ubisoft uns dias atrás que fala bastante sobre o assunto, com destaque para o gameplay. Como eu tava sem internet e usando só o 4G do celular, não deu pra upar, mas agora ele tá aqui. Confere aí, lembrando que o game chega em 15 de novembro para Xbox One e PS4 e dia 29 de novembro para PC. Até mais, valeu e tchau!
Watch Dogs 2's version of the Bay Area is big, colorful, and brimming with possibility, and protagonist Marcus Holloway is proving himself to be a skilled hacker, a capable athlete, and an idealistic, likable hero, all of which put him head and shoulders above the previous face of Watch Dogs, Aiden Pierce. Brighter, packed with activities, and geared more toward lighthearted adventure than gritty revenge, Watch Dogs 2 builds on its predecessor's groundwork to create a hugely improved experience.
Hey, just chill, dog!
What's better this time around? Well, why don't we start with driving. The difference between cars in Watch Dogs and Watch Dogs 2 is immediately noticeable the first time you get behind the wheel. Watch Dogs 2's driving mechanics have been completely overhauled with highly responsive, skid-resistant rides that turn and accelerate quickly and hug the road even at high speeds. Better still, every vehicle you enter has a turbo boost for when regular speed just isn't fast enough.
You're a natural!
Chalk it up to a hacking trick or a sudden region-wide fixation with car modding if you like, but it makes the time you spend on the road a lot more enjoyable.
What is your emergency?
Hacking. Hacking anything in Watch Dogs usually required looking right at the device you wanted to hijack, and then you could only do one or two things with it once you did. Watch Dogs 2 is a huge expansion of what a hacker's phone can do to the world around them. For starters, while you still technically need to see what you're hacking, the addition of camera-equipped drones makes line of sight a much more flexible concept. More importantly, every potentially useful object around Marcus can be hacked, and most have multiple options for what your hack can do. Cars can be remotely steered in any direction, and Marcus can stay rooted to them if he stands on top, at least until they crash. And while it's a lot of fun to mess with other drivers and create random mischief, being able to hack pursuing vehicles adds a whole new dimension of power and creativity to car chases. Also, the steam pipes and gas valves that could be blown up in Watch Dogs are now more versatile as they, and any explosives, can be set with proximity triggers and even turned into a lure for nearby guards. Everyone's phones can be turned on to distract them or turn them into targets for gangs or police, and depending on the person, you can steal a little money from them, tase them with their own phones, or restore a little power to the slowly replenishing botnet that fuels your hacks. Side activities. Did you like following likely criminals to catch them in the act in Watch Dogs? What about chess puzzles or drinking contests? We didn't see any of that during our time with the game, but we did run a brightly lit rally race with a drone, tear through glowing checkpoints on a dirt bike, and scour the underside of the Golden Gate Bridge to trace electrical signals and solve a puzzle that unlocks access to one of Marcus's abilities. And that's not even counting the time we spent disrupting traffic, annoying street performers, and disturbing the local wildlife. Our favorite activity was easily Driver San Francisco, a ride-sharing app that let us pick up passengers with unusual requests, like Daredevil Liv, who directed us to slam into hidden ramps at high speed to get huge air in one of SF's hillier neighborhoods.
Great jump!
Fighting. Aiden Pierce wielded a baton that was quick, rigid, and merciless, but Marcus's Thunderball, essentially a billiard ball fixed to a length of lanyard, creates a little more room for improvisation and brawling, as he's able to string together strike combos and use the lanyard as a garrote to choke out unsuspecting enemies. If you prefer to fight from a distance, Watch Dogs 2 also improves on the original's gunplay with a wide selection of 3D printed firearms and a long-range taser for those who prefer a non-lethal approach. You can even call in gang members or cops to act as impromptu reinforcements and soften an area up before you head in. During firefights, the sticky cover system from the first game returns, but like so much else in Watch Dogs 2, it feels a little quicker and more responsive. You can still auto-sprint between cover points too, which is useful if you're trying to be sneaky. Also useful for a stealth approach are the Far Cry-esque directional awareness meters, which tell you exactly where unwanted attention is coming from. Parkour. Aiden Pierce was pretty adept at sprinting around and vaulting over low surfaces, but Marcus tackles the urban landscape with a lot more finesse. Not only is he quicker on his feet, but he leaps and tumbles past obstacles with a fluidity that makes him feel instantly more capable at escape and exploration. He's also a little more responsive and easier to control when in a full-on free run, which makes getting around as Marcus a lot more fun. Flexible missions. Watch Dogs offered some control over how you tackled its missions, letting you hack, sneak, and shoot your way through, but the sequel cuts down on the linearity, giving you a clear goal and an open landscape in which to achieve it. The story mission included in the demo tasked us with stealing a truck and driving it out of a locked dockyard, which required finding a key code on a roving security guard. During a handful of attempts, we discovered multiple routes for sneaking in, scouted the area with both kinds of drones, called in gang members to create a distraction, and tried more than once to go in guns blazing. Once we'd gained the key code, by hacking the guard who carried it, we were even able to use stationary security cameras to open the gates and remote control the van out of its parking spot, which totally would have worked if we'd been better at remote steering. The number of options combined with the open mission structure creates a sense of continual discovery that makes repeat trial and error runs exciting instead of tedious. Customization. In Watch Dogs, you could dress Aiden Pierce in a bunch of different variations on the same outfit, but with different colors, patterns, and cap shapes. Marcus is more sartorially adventurous, and you're free to dress him in whatever items of clothing you want to see on screen. No matter how ridiculous your mixing and matching makes him look, he can be uniquely yours. Even his weapons and drones can be customized with different patterns thanks to the incredibly capable 3D printer that DedSec keeps in its backroom headquarters. Sailing. Sure, Watch Dogs had boats, but Watch Dogs 2 adds sailboats. To pilot these effectively, you'll need to pay attention to the wind around you, changing your direction to catch the best breeze. Yes, it's just like Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, and that means it's awesome. A likable hero. Look, Aiden Pierce was okay. He was a brooding vigilante who often acted more like a bullying criminal than avenging hero, but his fluid morality and prickly demeanor fit the gritty Chicago story Watch Dogs was telling. The hackers of DedSec are a lot more idealistic than Aiden was, though, and their worldview is a lot more lighthearted. Consequently, they're more the kind of good-natured outlaws we'd want to hang out with in an open-world hacker fantasy. Marcus is a smart, friendly, easygoing guy who hangs out in the back room of a tabletop gaming shop, and his interactions with his DedSec buddies include some memorably funny moments.
Marcus Holloway, Duskbringer of the New Dawn.
Ooh, I like that one. Let's go with that one.
All of that makes it easier to forge a connection with him than with the guy who lurks in alleys waiting for a chance to spy on strangers through their gadgets. Unlike Aiden, Marcus also has a range of emotes that he can use to communicate with those around him. While these are meant for multiplayer encounters, he can also use them to delight, confuse, and annoy passersby.
There's nothing I love more.
Actual dogs. Oh, look at the cute little pupper. Dogs are everywhere on the streets of San Francisco, and you can pet them all.
Who's a good boy? That's a good doggy.
Watch Dogs 2 will launch on PS4, PC, and Xbox One on November 15th. Until then, keep it at Ubiblog for more on what awaits you in Watch Dogs 2's wide-open Bay Area.